full. Meaning, we occasionally need to shed off old habits, no matter how difficult. Things that burden us or add no value to our lives should be let go of. Thanks for watching this video. Share and subscribe for more amazing inspiration.
When your psoriasis is bad, it can be hard to see what's possible. But with Taltz, the possibilities become clear. Taltz is proven to give you a chance at 100% clear skin. With Taltz, up to 90% of those with moderate to severe psoriasis saw a significant improvement of their psoriasis plaques. Some even saw 100% clear.
It hurts sometimes when you're in that dark place. I need you to hold on. I need you to hold on strong and don't give up. Make an impact in this world. Don't look at it as though it's something that you got to do temporary. Oh, life is short. Not the many people in this world, they didn't realize that the next day they was going to be diagnosed with a cancer. They thought that tomorrow was going to be waiting for them, and they did not wake up. But you are still living. Now, what do you have to do? How are you going to move forward? How are you going to proceed your life? Life is not a game. Life is living. I say to you right now that you must make it. I say to you right now that you must tell excuses, fear, and doubt that it has no place in your place of business. For this is your life that you are fighting for. This is your life that you are living for. Don't let anyone take away who you are, how true you are, and what you matter in this world to so many other people. I need you to believe in every possibility that you have and understand that it is not over for you. And maybe you may be in a position where you feel that you are broken, or you feeling that you're going to be broken. But I'm here to let you know, ladies and gentlemen, that you are built to last. I'm here to let you know that you don't have the right to complain anymore. I'm here to let you know that you got to keep on living and living on strong. You had to experience some things that you did not understand. You had to experience some greatness. You had to experience some weaknesses. You had to experience things that no one can understand. But you are the one that has to be responsible to go through it. You were put on your back, and you probably thought that you didn't have the ability to come back. But you did. Dawn is coming. The sun is going to rise, and you will see the light within you. Don't you give up on life, because once your life is over, you can't come back. Leave your mark. Help someone. Lift someone up when they're down. Be the strength for others when they're weak. And maybe when you're at the weakest point in your life, someone will lift you up. But we all struggle. No one is immune to it. It is necessary that you struggle. It is necessary that you feel alone. It is necessary that you have to continue to go forward. Nothing can stop this. Because that light has already been there. That light is embedded in you. That light exists in you. What about the other people out here who can't walk? What about the people out there who can't talk? What about the people out there that suffer from diseases they cannot be cured from? What about you? What are you going to do about the life you have? Are you going to whatever it takes, keep pushing forward. Your life is your life, and you have the right to live it the best way you can. Yes, it hurts sometimes when you feel alone. It hurts sometimes when you're in that dark place and you feel no one cares about you. The first thing you got to realize is that you got to love yourself. It's about self-love. Start understanding that if you want to do something with your life, you got to fall in love with yourself again. You got to stop self-hating yourself. Do something that's going to make you a better person. Make an impact in this world. Don't look at it as though it's something that you got to do temporary. Although we know that life is short, like many people in this world, they didn't realize that the next day they was going to be diagnosed with a cancer. They thought that tomorrow was going to be waiting for them, and they did not wake up. But you are still living. Now, what do you have to do? How are you going to move forward? How are you going to proceed your life? Life is not a game. Life is living. There is the good, and there is the bad, and there's definitely the right now. You can't wait for somebody else to make your life better. You got to make your life better. You got to focus on you. Now, I'm not saying forget the rest of the people, but I'm telling you to get rid of the things that are not making you strong, that are not making you better, that are not making you efficient, that are not putting you in a better place, that are not giving you the strength that you need to keep living the life that you have been given. Don't you give up on life. Once your life is over, you can't come back. Leave your mark somewhere. Lift someone up when they're down. Be the strength for others when they're weak. And maybe when you're at the weakest point in your life, someone will lift you up. Because we all struggle. No one is immune to it. So keep fighting forward. Don't give up. Live. Breathe. Life. You. That's what it's about. It's gonna hurt. Sometimes it's gonna get tough. But when it get tough, you get tough. Just make sure you make your mark. Make sure you make your mark in this world. Because somebody didn't make it today. Keep living. Keep living strong. Don't give up.
Your sixth run averaged 270 dates a year.
Who works harder than Joe Russell's?
He's broken his neck. They had read the scans wrong. It was an old break that I never knew I had.
This is Renee. Never heard of her? It's probably because you know her. Move around the car. Just look at the way she reshaped it. And reimagine it. From 4 acres left of house. It's not hard to tell she's the real deal. Renee runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor because out here, you can't take a job for nothing.
And the last thing I remember is this Chinook coming into that huge sandstorm that it creates on the elevators. The exhaust, the heat from the exhaust beating down on the back of his vehicle. And then like the mechanic. And the last thing I remember
Well, I think the one thing that discipline definitely does help you with is it helps you get things done. And when you get things done, when you actually do things, you have more success. If you have more success, and sometimes a big part of success is just not being fucking lazy and just doing it. It's like 90% of it is just showing up. Get there and start working. Like, you're not gonna feel perfect every day. If I only worked out when I felt good, I'd be a fat fuck. Because there's a lot of days I want to do it. But it's pretty much the same with everybody that actually gets good at something. There's got to be those days you push through, and they're probably going to be more numerous than the days you don't. And so the benefit of discipline in my eyes has always been that through discipline I get things done. I always say that I'm like the most lazy, disciplined person I know, because I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But I always do. One of the big problems is sitting down and doing the work. And you got it. And Pressfield talks about that in the most concise and beautiful way. And he labels it like an enemy. He calls it resistance. You know, and then you have to sit down, you have to overcome resistance. And that the pro goes to work. And it doesn't matter if you're sick, it doesn't matter if you have kids, it doesn't matter what, you're a pro and you go to work. And that just, it puts it in your head that this is what I do. This is what, and you have pride in that. And then when you are in front of that keyboard and you look down to count, it says, I got fucking 1,000 words today. I put 1,000 words in. You're doing the work. And out of that work, gems fly. Little things, but you might have a day where you just write nothing but dog shit. So I'll show up again tomorrow. And tomorrow out of that dog shit, a flower will emerge. You never know. And that's the only way to develop to really develop your potential 100% in anything whether it's as an author or even as a martial artist. There's a lot of creativity in martial arts. To be a great striker, you have to be creative because you have to develop patterns or execute patterns that aren't going to be perceived. This idea that life is hard is something you're supposed to shield from them. It's so silly. And, I've had this conversation with my friends because everybody that I know that's interesting had a fucked up life. But now we have kids, and the last thing we want is our kids to have a fucked up life. So we put our kids in these good schools, we live in these nice neighborhoods, everybody eats healthy, and there's no fucking domestic violence, and everybody seems, it's so different than all of our lives. And we were talking about it, me and Brian Callum were actually talking about it, like, we all had fucked up childhoods, and everybody we know had fucked up childhoods, and they're all interesting. But I don't want my kids to be boring, but I also want them to be safe. So it's like, how do you approach that? I mean, I think you get involved. That's what I've chosen to do, is get my kids involved in martial arts and give them the opportunity to pursue difficult things, and understanding that through pursuing these difficult things, like in accomplishing stuff, like you learn something about yourself. You learn that you have this ability inside of you to overcome. Get obsessed with life improvement. Find things that you enjoy doing that are difficult. Do them and get better. It seems so simplistic. It seems like a ridiculous, idealistic point of view, but it's effective. Well, you need some amount of pride and some amount of ego to get good at things in the first place, because it's such a counterintuitive notion, because you have to have a belief in yourself. You have to be able, like when you start out in jiu-jitsu, you're a white belt. Like, I remember being a white belt and being like, oh my God, I'm fucking never gonna be good at this. I'm just so bad. But to look at people who are better than you and know they had to have sucked at one point in time. Okay, there's somewhere along the end of this tunnel, there's got to be a light. I just got to keep going.
Yeah.
And that takes ego, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, ego drives, for him to be successful, me to be successful. Ego is what's driving the problem is when you want to go too far. Yeah. And, everything creates balance. There's a dichotomy in everything. Every part of you has a dichotomy. You can get so into the physical aspects of things that you end up like doing a bunch of steroids and going crazy and ruining your health. Right? That's not good.
Right.
So it's end of the spectrum, you can sit around and play video games and turn it into
She takes a picture, and in that picture is the BT. She puts the camera over in that direction, and everyone looking in that direction at that moment saw it. You can make contact with these civilizations, and they do not respond. And that's when they take me into a hotel room later that night and very aggressively say, what the hell do you think you're doing? Because those projects understand the power of consciousness, and that the Rosetta Stone of contact has to.
Bodybuilding is a great example of that, because when you start lifting weights, you're like, God, I'd like to be stronger. And you start getting a little bit bigger. You're like, oh, look at that, I got a muscle. Woo, this is cool. And then you keep going, and then you keep going. But some guys get so fucking crazy, they won't stop until they have 22-inch arms. And they want to have thighs that are so big, they have to walk like they've got a barrel in between their legs. And, and they just can't help it. They just take it to some completely unhealthy place.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, well, it's just the nature of trying to get good at something. You got to recognize what's good and what is just fucking insane. For some people, especially, they're just experiencing way too much pressure. And that pressure, a lot of times, it's just an imbalance in perspective. And some of it's, I was talking to this mom once. Her daughter does gymnastics with her daughters, and we were talking about kids killing themselves where she used to live. She used to live in one of the really wealthy tech areas outside of San Francisco, and a bunch of kids that went to school with her daughter that were like 15, 16, were jumping off bridges and shit. It was like an epidemic. And they were trying to figure out what the fuck is going on, and they're literally calling it affluenza. That these affluent kids and their families are literally worth $1 billion. Everybody's super rich, and they're having this insane pressure in before high school and in high school to be in Ivy League schools and to get 4.0s and they're fucking, they're not having any fun, and they're not experiencing life, and they don't have any hope, and their parents are on fucking pills, and they're just killing themselves. There's some people out there that aren't feeling good. Man, if you just fucking struggled more, you get over that struggle, you feel better. It sounds so simplistic, but I swear by it. And I felt shitty myself. And forced myself to work out. And after I get out of there, I'm like, 100%. It's a 100% guarantee. It's hard for people to break momentum too. Momentum is good momentum is bad momentum. When I get when I get on a good groove of working out all the time, I feel it. Like after I'm done working out, I'm like, yeah, I can't wait to get in there again. I can't wait to work out again. That's the good momentum. But then there's that bad momentum, like you get injured or something like that, you can't do anything for a couple of weeks, and then to try to get that kickstart that motor up again, it's hard to get momentum. But there's a lot of people that are eating shit food, and then by the end of the day, your body's in a crisis. Your body's just processing all this bullshit. And if you're eating a big, like, bullshit lunch filled with nonsense, like, your body's got to process all that stuff. And so at the end of the day, yeah, you're going to lose your willpower. So, like, when 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock rolls around, you're going to be tired. But if you have a healthy lunch and, you know, you're properly fueled, and then you also have positive people in your life, everyone's motivated, by the end of the day, you're going to feel good. Whatever the fuck the thing is, just go and do it. Just force yourself to do it. And if you feel like shit because you ate lunch, then your lunch was, you know, filled with bullshit, well then, hey, don't eat shitty lunch tomorrow. Tomorrow, try a nice salad. Try salad with some salmon and see how you feel then. You're like, hey, I feel way better today at 6 o'clock. Now your decision making will be better. Like, people don't understand how significant it is. Like, all these little decisions, those are like that's the path for the rest of your existence on Earth. And if you decide to go the fucking Cheetos chocolate chip cookie route, you're just making a shit path. You're carving your fucking path through broken rocks and glass, and that's the way to go. You know what else exists in day-to-day life? That's where it's okay to be a man. It's actually okay to be a man. It's okay to have man thoughts. Like, everybody's so toned down and needed. It's like human resources and corporate life has watered down people's natural behavior to the point where people are just dying on the inside, sitting in these fucking cubicles, rotting, just freaking the fuck out, having all these thoughts they can't entertain, having to pretend to be someone that they're not all day long, putting on this bullshit way of talking, this fake way of thinking. Everybody's got to subscribe to whatever fucking ridiculous policies the company wants to enforce. And you're just a robot. You get out of there and you start screaming. It's this fear of discomfort. People have this extreme feeling in their minds when it comes to their association with exercise. They want to avoid discomfort. They feel like any kind of exercise is just like something to be avoided. That's not for me. Fuck that. I don't want to sweat. I don't want to strain. And a lot of times, this association that they have is about the beginnings of getting in shape. It's not about once you're actually fit. Because once you're actually fit, exercise is something you look forward to. It's an alleviation of stress. It feels great. Like, if I can't get a workout in, I look at my schedule and I go, oh shit, I don't have time for a workout, which means I'm not going to get that good feeling. And so instead of looking at it like, oh, I've got to go grunt and sweat, I'm thinking I'm not going to feel good. I'm not going to feel relaxed. I'm not going to feel carefree. And I'm not going to feel even appreciative. Like, my appreciation of things, it gets enhanced greatly after exercise. I just feel better. I feel like I can take things in for what they are rather than, you know, whatever the sensory data that I'm getting from any event is just one more distraction that gets in my way. You know, that's a lot of times how I look at things if I'm overstressed or if I'm working too much. Like, our bodies, for whatever reason, most people, their associations are to avoid anything that's uncomfortable. But it's so illogical, because when you look at comfort and you look at success and progress and the feelings of accomplishment and of getting past certain hurdles in terms of like how you feel about life, a lot of those are connected to discomfort. Like, discomfort is your friend. It really is. Like, discomfort and not being happy and content with certain situations in life, certain feelings in life, they're massive motivators, and they're amazing at facilitating change. And yet our instinct is to avoid those and just sit on a couch and watch some fucking reality show about dudes who make moonshine with our jaw open. It's bizarre. And for me, at least, when I get like really disciplined and really consistent with my workouts, one of the things that I almost feel momentum. I feel like there's like a push behind me, like, all right, like after I get out of the gym, I have a really good workout. I'm like, yeah, now I'm doing it. I'm doing it all the time now. I'm looking forward to the next time. And it makes that resistance much weaker, and it makes my motivation and my discipline much stronger. I think a lot of it is based on just a consistency. It's one of the things that I talked about recently on the podcast. I said, like blowing something off, it's not just not good, like blowing off an exercise that you plan is not just bad for you physically, it's also bad mentally, because then that option is now available. The option to fuck off is available. And you did it before, and you're probably going to do it again, and you'll get mediocre results, not just in that aspect of your life, but maybe in all aspects of your life. Because I think that option to fuck off, when you embrace it, that is a pathway that you might choose when it comes to dealing with conflict in your personal life, dealing with business decisions, dealing with career decisions, like an uncomfortable decision that you might be faced with when you need to make a change as far as like what your pathway is in life, but you don't do it, and instead you fuck off. And that the inclination to fuck off, I think, that gathers momentum as well. The inclination to be disciplined, that comes with momentum too. And I think both things, like you take a path, the path of the healthy person or the path of the fuck off. Like this is not, like your body is like a race car that you can juice up yourself. Like you can add the fat tires, you can add the improved suspension, you can beef up the horsepower in the engine. You can do all that yourself. Or you can just choose to have this shitty body that's always falling apart on you. Because we're essentially ecosystems. We're in charge. This weird consciousness that has all this resistance and has all this inclination towards comfort and fucking off and blowing things off is what is in charge of making all these things happen that keep this ecosystem healthy. It's almost like if Earth itself had like a shitty manager. If like there was a manager or a natural manager of Earth that was like, oh God, who cares if it rains? Oh God, I'm gonna stop growing things. I don't give a shit anymore. It's all stupid anyway. I mean, it's literally like the
just blow it up.
Yeah. Fuck it, let's just kill all of life.
Well, dude, it's all going to die eventually. I mean, the sun only lasts 7 billion years.
You see, that is the perspective a lot of people take with aging, where it's like, well, if you're going to die, you're going to age, you can't stop aging. And it's like, yes, you're right, but that's not the point. The point is to age better. Like, that's the point. The point is to increase your health span, and that is, we know, is possible.
Coming through the wilderness, somehow made it through. Like a virgin, touched for the very first time. Like a bird.
That are like, over 100 years old, and they're like riding bikes and racing, and it's like, they're old. They are very old.
But they're experiencing a very good quality of life.
Yeah.
And they're experiencing a quality of life that these other people that don't exercise they physically feel their own body diminishing, and they just feel it's inevitable. It is what it is. You're wasting your time. You're out there running around. But no, we're not, because this experience right now, it's not like, no one's under the illusion you're going to live forever, but you are